Oh, sorry, guys. So you guys wanted it, and you guys get it. This is this is what if Deku was in the zombie apocalypse, part 3. And like Papa John's, I always deliver. Doesn't matter how long you have to wait. I always deliver. So let's get started. Go in the comments, guys, if you want a different what if. Like, I do any type of what if based off just one movie or a movie trilogy. I'll freaking do what if Deku was a samurai if you want that, guys. So yeah, I'll be doing any what ifs that you guys want. Literally, you could see any what ifs that you guys want to see, or you guys want to see how I'm going to recuperate that what if. So just go in the comments and please put in a idea or a story idea that you want me to do for a what if. So yeah, and I also give you a shout out if you pick a story that I actually get interested in, and I'll do. So let's get started. And that's diddle daddle. So this is what if Deku was in the zombie apocalypse part 3. Let's get it in. So I last left off for Deku, and the rest of his crew went back in the cabin and spend their good night. Very well. So after that, a couple of days after that, Deku trained with his newfound abilities. Deku trained and trained, and through that night, Deku had a dream. It wasn't really a dream, it was more of a different mindset of the past One For All users telling Deku how One For All works, because All Might wasn't there to tell him Deku, so their spirits had to explain the quirk to Deku. Now, Deku is the I forgot which user. I think he's the 8th, probably more than that or lower. I don't know right now. So pretty much they explained to Deku that he is going to be basically very stronger than he originally did, and all of his powers will be enhanced. So Deku, figuring out what One For All is, Deku trained over a Deku trained for about a week solidly, figuring out all of his abilities. Deku, since he is a zombie, doesn't really need to keep up that much physical stamina, because zombies, humans have to keep a little bit, like 50% of their energy stored inside them to breathe and do bodily normally functions. But Deku doesn't have to breathe, eat, or even breathe for that matter, but he just chooses to because it just feels normal. So Deku can reach about max through this whole entire month. Deku reached up about 99% of One For All, about 100. But if he goes to 100, his body would start gushing blood out of all of his pores. Not the pore below the belt, but like his nose and eyes and ears will start bursting out blood. So yeah. So Deku basically just resigned himself by using 100% of One For All, because he wouldn't be able to see for a short amount of time because blood will be clogging up his eyes. He won't be able to hear or smell. So all of his senses will be, dulled out. It'll be defenseless. Now Deku also developed the other quirks. Deku also got Black Whip as well. Now, guys, go in the comments if you want me to make Deku incredibly OP. But yeah, Deku, basically can use Black Whip in such a way that it kind of like Spider-Man, but like without, the web shooter, just, disarming people and webbing them up, like tying them up. So Deku is incredibly happy and thrilled that he has this quirk. So they're in the building, pretty much they're in their room. Deku and his squad is in the living room, and pretty much they're just chilling. When they get, a freaking warning from the radio Deku set up. Deku goes to the radio, and now if you don't know this, Deku did put up a radio. I mentioned it last part, I think. So Deku goes to the radio, and is told that they're having a super huge, like, hurricane coming towards their way. Deku is shocked by this and says that this hurricane is going to be incredibly. Sorry, guys, I'm doing this unscripted. I actually do all my what is unscripted, but yeah, they just rolls off the tongue more naturally. So Deku is kind of frightened, but he's prepared just a tiny bit because I'm sorry. First, what if I didn't mention this before? But the pool area is actually the basement area. So they go down to the pool area, lock up all the doors, board up the windows that are underneath the pretty much area, and they pretty much cover all over the pool, going into corners, staying there. Now, Denki and Jiro are cuddled up in one corner. Kirishima and Mineta cuddle up in one corner. Deku and Mama are cuddled up in the other corner. And they stop. They're waiting for the storm to hit. In about 2 minutes, Denki just thinks maybe it was a false alarm. Gets up, but they hear a huge, like, crash. Denki falls down to his back. He says, "What the hell was that?" Everybody starts rumbling away and pretty much just yelling, kind of freaking out. Deku's keeping his cool and telling everybody to shut up and keep calm. So they're seeing a couple of, it's like little tiny holes through the things that barricade the windows up, and Deku's looking through it, seeing freaking chairs and pillars and pieces of their front house falling down into trees, make trees falling over and being snapped. Like it's like freaking Storm from X-Men went berserk. Everything is just going everywhere. Dinky sees the glass that they barricade starting to break. Dinky pulls his head back and glass shatters. They get pushed back and Deku sees this and lightning starts coming. Denki gets pushed back in such a way that he starts, falling into the pool. He falls into the pool and lightning at that same exact moment strikes the house. The lightning courses through the house, pretty much through the electricity, all the way to the pool because the pool is heated and has lights in it. So Denki gets electrocuted, but since he absorbs electricity, Denki doesn't get hurt that much. Denki gets out the water, and then another bolt of electricity hits the house twice. It's like really bad luck. And Deku sees that Mineta is about to slip into the water. Deku uses one for all in his legs. It uses 50% one for all in his legs, shooting straight at Mineta, pretty much field going her. No, just what was it? Hugging her, jumping her away from the pool. Deku used way too much power, pushing them both out of the basement into the opened area. Deku gets up and sees that their whole entire um top half of their house is completely gone. It's completely gone. It's like everything is just crashed away and sharded away. Deku sees that another ball of lightning is coming, and Deku sees that it strikes a couple of feet away from them. And out of nowhere, a piece of a tree, like a log, a sharpened log, comes out of nowhere and stabs Deku straight into the chest. Deku gets pinned to a wall and pretty much can't move. Everybody else gets out of the basement and sees that it's a couple of guys looking at them. They look up and they see that it's somebody in the air with bright white eyes and with white markings on his face, like scars. They look down and they see that it's a couple people. They see that it's some sort of black-haired guy with messed up skin, a blue-haired guy with hands on his body, a blonde-haired girl with knives, and like a shadow guy and a guy with some sort of suit and swirly mask or something and marbles in his hands. The masked guy throws another marvel towards Momo and it unleashes a freaking car. Denki uses electricity to try to shock away the car, but it doesn't work anything. It doesn't work, and Momo is pretty much just trying to get out the way. Deku eventually breaks through the what was it, spike that was in his chest, runs over to Momo and gets her out of the way in time. The pillar, the car falls into the basement, electrocuting the water, and just, blowing up the house. Now, you're probably wondering, how did it blow up the house? Doesn't matter. The house blows up. Everybody gets pushed away in near the people, and they look at them and they say, "We're the League of Villains. We want you guys on our team." So after the storm settled down, Deku and his crew wake up because they did get knocked out because, the explosion. And Deku was the last person to hear, we're the League of Villains, you need to learn, pretty much join us. So League of Villains pretty much take Deku and his team, or his crew, in, and takes them to their base, their hideout. So they get to the pretty much building they're at, and it's a little bit more fortified. It has gates around it, but they get inside and they put their pretty much people down, and they don't really have a reason to tie them up because, well, it's Apocalypse. Being a villain doesn't really matter anymore. So they pretty much sit down. Everybody gets up and pretty much are looking around, confused. Deku looks around and he sees a couple other people in there. He sees a half white-haired guy, a kid with white and red hair on each sides of his head. Deku's confused. He also sees a blonde hair. He also sees a brown-haired girl with some sort of markings like around her cheeks, like pretty much lily pads, round faces or something. And he also sees Bakugo. Deku gets pissed by this and says, "What the hell is that?" Bakugo looks at Deku, recognizes him just a little bit, and says, "Nerd, you survived the apocalypse? I thought you already died at this point." And Bakugo, at this point, he was on top of some sort of structure, jumps off of it, and walks over to Deku and says, "So, you nerd, you survived? How? You don't even have a quirk. Did these idiots help you out?" Momo's confused and said he does have a quirk. And pretty much, Bakugo says, "Yeah, you have a dormant quirk, but you said the doctors would never be able to, activate your quirk." Deku says, "A zombie activated my quirk." Everybody gasps and says, "Hold up, a zombie bit you, my boy?" Denki says, and Denki already knows this, but he just wants to, piss everybody off, making them scared. Pretty much, a bird head guy throws some sort of quirk towards Deku, like a shadow monster. Deku dodges it and uses Black Whip to tie the guy up and throw him into a pillar. Kirishima runs over to Deku, grabs him, and says, "Stop, dude. We don't want to fight these guys. Our base is destroyed. Can we stay with them?" Deku says, "Fine." So pretty much they sit down and they explain what their situation is. That it's a city, a part of Japan that is fortified and that is big enough to hold about 1,000 people for the zombie apocalypse. And it's a new safe haven. And also, it has zombie measurements. So, it is going to be very good. Deku says part of Japan. What do you mean? It's a sort of a... the middle of it is UA. Deku says, "Hold up, UA? You mean that school? That producer school that I was signing up to go to?" Bakugo says, "Well, before the zombie thing went down, you probably could have went there. But that place is like a safe haven. This isn't really even the school anymore." Deku smirks at this and says, "So, when are we leaving?" Kirishima answers as well, says, "Yeah, where are we leaving? When are we leaving?" Sorry. And Shigaraki says, "We're leaving tomorrow night. So everybody, shut the hell up, get some rest, and we're moving tonight." So, Dabi and Toka are packing up, and Toka leaves Dabi there to pack up the last batch. Dabi goes back inside, tells the magnet guy quirk to help him out. They go outside, they're helping everything out, and I know that they hear some sort of explosion in the back. Dabi gets out of the truck, looks, and sees that it's some sort of freaking super zombie. It's a pro hero from America. Shigaraki sees this through a window and pretty much tells everybody to get ready because it's gonna be a fight. Everybody gets ready, about to use their quirks, and Dabi gets thrown through the wall. Dabi isn't turned, but he is hurt, like his arm is broken because he got thrown through a concrete wall by a pro hero. They look up and they see some sort of pro hero that's super fucking muscular, like super muscular. Like I don't really know the name of this pro. He has some sort of strength quirk. He pretty much runs towards Deku. Deku uses his pretty much pushing his one for all in his mental control barriers for his zombie powers. Controlling the zombie to such an extent to make him just, wander around, not really moving that much, giving David enough time to, shoot a ball of fire towards the zombie and also make the other League of Villains and members and pretty much people in the building to use their quirks on the guy. Ochaku touches the pro hero zombie and pushes him out of the building, making him float all the way out of the atmosphere, killing him. Or, just taking him out. So, after that, they carry on with the rest of their day. And pretty much Deku is is on the top of the building, just looking around. Dobby comes up to the top of the building and says, "So, you're the what do I say? You're the kid that killed zombie All Might." Dobby explains that we had a run-in with zombie All Might once, and one of our team members got killed. Deku says, "Which one?" Deku says, "It was some close friend of mine. He was more or less a family member." Now you're probably wondering, who the hell is, a family member? What I'm talking about is, well, per se, what was it? I forgot. Oh yeah, Todoroki's brother, not Toya, but other brother, the full white-haired guy, the ice quirk, basically, him in general, he basically just died. He found out, Toya was Dabi, and he went with Toya after, Todoroki went with Toya as well. So they're walking down the road, pretty much as a flashback, and out of nowhere, the zombie All Might got out of nowhere, and pretty much just bodied, Toya and Todoroki's brother, killing him instantly. They, they literally just scattered because they know for a fact they couldn't take on freaking All Might Zombie. Dolly did burn a little chunk of All Might Zombie, but since All Might at that period of time had one for all, he did regenerate from it, meaning that Deku didn't see it. So that's why Deku didn't, mention a burn mark on Zombie All Might. So, after that, they get interrupted by Twice, and Twice is talking to them, saying that, "You guys really need to shut up. The cargo's here. Let's keep going." So they get on the truck or the bus, and they drive off at full maximum speed. They're driving, and then they get stopped by some sort of force. Deku's confused, then he looks out of the window, and he sees some sort of, women, 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 something like that, I don't know. Deku looks closer and sees that it's people, not zombies. The car gets let go. Shigaraki falls off of his chair and says, "Who the hell was that?" They get out of the bus and they see that's a couple of female pro heroes. It's Miss Midnight. It's what was it? Mirako and what was it? And don't worry, I might be, doing a double ship. So Deku sees Mirako and kind of blushes, and Momo out of nowhere slaps Deku across the face and says, "Don't you dare look at her like that." Deku says, sorry." So they let them into the car and they drive off with them. Mirako sits next to Deku and says, "So, you're the kid that, beat the zombie All Might." Deku says, "How does anybody know that? I literally just beat him like a month ago." Pretty much, Deku notices that Deku doesn't remember that Denki was talking about his crew, not their location, but about his crew and their names of his crew, hoping that any of the family members of Denki's crew, like, Jiro's mom or Deku's mom would hear this message and know that they're safe. So Denki was kinda smart, nonetheless, but Denki mostly did it because he wanted his parents to know that he was safe as well. So they went. So they pretty much just that's how some of the people in the world knew about Deku taking down, Zombie All Might. Now Deku was sitting in his chair. Pretty much Mirko was flirting with Deku. Now pretty much Mirko doesn't have any pullback because Deku did lie about Deku's age, saying that Deku was 19. Deku pretty much said so. And he gets interrupted by Momo because Momo's sitting right behind him and says, "No, you might want to back off. He's my boyfriend." Deku get Deku blushes and says, "Oh yeah, she's my girlfriend." Momo gets confused by this and says, "Why did you say, oh yeah?" Deku's about to answer, but they get stopped again. But they just stop because they're at their location. They get off the bus and they're walking into the building, and out of nowhere, a bunch of zombie pro heroes bust out of the building. They see that it's someone else on top of the building, and they look up and they see that it's some sort of person. They look up and they see it's a purple haired kid with some sort of thing around his face. He pulls down the mask and says, "Hey everybody, these are my little friends. I've been pretty much collecting zombie pro heroes, telling them what to do. Pretty much, leading you guys here so they can kill you." So all the zombies start rushing towards Deku and his crew and everybody else. Todoroki makes a huge ice wall, blocking the zombies off for a couple of minutes. When they break through the ice, Dobby shoots a huge wall of fire towards all the zombies. Deku uses Black Whip to tie up some zombies, keeping them in one area so Mama can summon a gun, make a gun, and shoot them. Now, everybody's using their quirks to fend off the zombies, and Ochaku gets bit. Deku looks at Ochaku, and Momo's about to shoot Ochaku just on the fly because, well, she's gonna turn. But Deku says stop, and pretty much Deku grabs Momo. He's trying out a new technique that he wanted to try on somebody if they ever got bit. Deku cuts his wrist with some jagged rock on the floor and makes Momo drink his blood. Ochaku drink his blood. Ochaku passes out, and her bite mark starts, regenerating. And her skin starts coming pale. Then it starts dying down back to her normal skin tone. After this whole entire transition for Ochaku, everybody is fending off the zombies, taking them out. Everybody is okay, but they look up to the guy and says, "Who are you?" And if you already guessed, this guy is the mind control quirk guy that Deku faced off in the Canon Sports Festival. So pretty much his quirk works on zombies. He can mind control zombies. So he mind controlled these pro heroes and made this whole entire fake location spot, because he made a location spot at the airport because that's what Shigaraki and his team are going, to the airport. So they get pissed, and Shigaraki was about, to just disintegrate the building underneath the guy. But Deku just whip the guy by the waist and pulling him down to the ground. And out of nowhere, Twice comes out of nowhere and pretty much drop kicks the guy straight into the building, starts beating him up. Now, pretty much they have to pull Twice off of this guy, and Twice is just cussing him out because Twice did almost get, killed by a zombie. Now, after that, pretty much they lock up the guy, put him at the back of the bus, and they drive off. A couple minutes when they're driving, they stop near a pretty much area where not a lot of zombies are, and they're just sleeping in the bus at this point. Now they wake up and they see that pretty much Ochaku's awake. Now pretty much 5 people standardly have to be awake in the bus to make sure no zombie comes near them, or no zombies barricade them in one spot. So Deku is seeing what was it? Ochaku waking up. Ochaku wakes up and Ochaku isn't a hybrid zombie person like Deku, but she did get cured. Now, Deku's blood is basically the cure to the zombie virus. If someone got recently bit, Deku has about an hour tops to give somebody his blood to make sure they, heal from the zombie bite. So Deku is basically immune. A Deku can give somebody immunity for their zombie bite if they, get bit by a zombie. Now, Ochaku isn't, a half zombie or anything, doesn't have the powers of Deku, but she does, and she isn't, like, fully immune to zombies anymore, but she did survive. Ochaku hugs Deku and says, thank you, and Momo says, too many girls are crushing on my guy. Deku says, well, thank you, and after that, they get stopped, they get to the, true area, because there's no really true area, because it was just you know, a fake lore, because that Shinso guy pretty much just made it up. Deku woke up because he went to sleep on the third day. They fell asleep on the bus, and Deku woke up and he looked through the window. Now I'm gonna leave it off here, guys. Sorry, guys, if I made it too short. If you go in the comments if it was too short. But yeah, guys, thank you for the support, and see you guys later. Bye.